Okay, I will call the meeting to order, please.
Okay, agenda item B, Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, agenda item C, roll call. Commissioners Chu, Garcia,
Present.
okay, Johnson,
Here.
Murphy,
Here.
Flores,
Here.
Takar.
Present.
Did I pronounce that correct? Okay, good. And then Vice Chair Kostecki.
Here.
Okay, Vice Chair Kostecki, I would like to remind the audience that if they wish to address the commission, they must submit a green request to speak form located at the podium in the back of the council chamber. Citizens can submit public comment to the commission electronically no later than 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Comments received before the deadline will be sent to the commission and will be part of the record and will be mentioned as part of the public comment portion of the agenda. Material may be emailed to city clerk at cityofmerced.gov, and any correspondence received after 1 p.m. will be distributed to the commission and retained for the official record. Agenda item D, public comment. The clerk's office did not receive any public comment for this meeting tonight, and just for the record, there are no audience members to leave a public comment. Agenda item E, action items. E1, Measure C, revenue and expense reports for December 31st, 2025.
Good evening. I'm Venus Rodriguez. I'm the finance officer, and tonight I will be presenting your quarterly financial update. So this is the slide that tells you what we've received over several years of Measure C transaction tax. For 24-25, we received a little close to 9 million, not quite 9 million. And then for 25-26, we're estimating to receive a little bit over 9.1 million. So there is positive news in sales tax area. So we did see quite a big spike there. If you could look at the third quarter 2025. So we do compare to the prior third quarter of 2024. And we did get a little over $200,000 of an increase for the quarter. So that is positive news. We had not been getting very much as far as increases. They were kind of staying steady. But we did get quite a jump there. So we're hoping to continue that positive trend moving forward. Just to give you a little bit of more detail on that third quarter revenue. So we are estimating a little over 9.1 million for the year to be received. For third quarter, we got a little over 2.4 million. So that's 26.6% of the budget. So as long as we're hitting at least the 25% mark, right, for every quarter, that's what we want to at least see. That's up 9.5% on a cash basis, and it's up 8.5% on an adjusted basis. So when I talk about adjusted basis, what happens is that we tend to get money from retailers in different quarters, but they were due maybe in a prior quarter, right? But we're getting it now. So they put the money where it belonged in the quarters, and then they tell us that it's up 8.5% from an adjusted perspective. And then we tell you which industry groups are up, which ones are down. In this case, we're seeing up in all of the industry groups. So again, that's all positive news. So now that we've kind of completed our audit for 24-25, we like to come back and tell you how we ended the year based on what we thought we would end the year. So we thought we would end the year at about $5.6 million. We actually ended at $6 million. So it's a little bit better than we thought. So 444,000 to the positive. The GFOA recommended minimum for 25-26 is 1.5 million. So we are meeting that. During the budget process for 25-26, we did add 7 public safety positions. And for mid-year, which will be coming to the council in March, at this point, there are no requests for Measure C funding for any mid-year projects. I did also want to, I recently gave a financial forecast to the council, and one of the funds that we look at is Measure C. So I did want to provide that to you too. So as I mentioned during the budget process, one of the recommendations to the council was we were having trouble balancing the general fund and all of the funding sources for public safety. So we recommended to freeze 7 public safety positions at that time. So we removed them from the general fund. The council really wasn't on board with that. They didn't like that idea. So they did want us to move those positions into Measure C. So we added an additional 7 positions. So in doing the forecast to the council, we show them, we do see a little bit of increase in revenue that we're estimating every year over the next 5 years. Expenditures will also increase, right? Just due to labor increases, pension costs, maintenance supplies and services. There'll be inflationary costs. So just in looking at that, our expense will exceed our revenues each of those years. And in the first year, we can absorb it, but in the next 4 years, we will not be able to absorb it. So we will need to do something with those additional 7 positions, whether that's moving them to the general fund, whether it's freezing them, or if there's capacity in the CFD funding, we could move them there too. But based on this forecast, we wouldn't be able to leave them there. So that is the Measure C presentation. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
What does GFOA stand for?
I'm sorry, Government Finance Officers Association. So when you have operating costs, they like you to keep a certain minimum in there in case you don't get enough revenues for the year. You have some balance there in order to meet your obligations.
And then the 7 positions were those police and fire?
It was 1 firefighter, it was 4 police officers and 2 dispatchers.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I had a quick question. I was looking at the statement number 2 for Measure C. It just, so under expenditures for fire, I see that there was a variance of 143,000. I'm just curious, what does that mean? Is that, because it looks to me like it wasn't spent on salaries?
So a lot of the positions tend to stay vacant, right? And so this is where the 1 firefighter is that got moved in, and that position is currently vacant. So we have not spent any money on salary and benefits for that position yet.
Thank you.
No other questions? Would anyone like to make a motion to accept this information and provide it to council?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Murphy and a second by Commissioner Johnson. Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners, please cast your votes. Okay, and the motion passes unanimously. Okay, agenda item E2, Measure Y revenue and expense reports, December 31st, 2025.
So now Measure Y, the cannabis tax financial update. So again, this slide represents since inception of the cannabis tax, what we've received year over year. We are estimating 25, 26 to not be much different from last year. And we're actually seeing a little bit of decreases in cannabis tax, and you'll see that moving forward. So here you can see quarter over quarter for the last couple of years, we've seen several decreases. In this last quarter, although it wasn't a big decrease, so that's why you can barely see the line there. It was less than $1,000 of a decrease, but that is still a decrease. And so we'll have to monitor it and continue to see if it's going to continue to decrease or if hopefully it'll stay steady. So again, just summarizing how we ended fiscal year 24-25 in comparison to the budget. So in total, we ended at a little over $1 million, and we estimated we would end at about $774,000. So that's $248,000 more than we thought. So that's due to less expenditures. We spent less money on expenditures than we thought because it's not based on revenue. We got less revenue than we thought. And so if you're not familiar, maybe you are familiar, so cannabis tax has to be spent very specifically, 20% to police, 20% to fire, 20% to parks and recreation, and then 40% is discretionary, but it still has to go to those three different areas. So we put these monies in separate funds for tracking purposes and to make sure we're spending them accordingly. So that's why you see the 4 different balances. As far as mid-year requests, that will come in again in March. There are 2 fires requesting $60,000 for AEDs, and I believe it's for replacement of AEDs. And for police, there's a request for software subscription funding. So this was actually an error. It was supposed to be added as part of the budget process and accidentally got left off. So we're just trying to correct that error. So that is the presentation for Measure Y. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Measure to accept the report. Motion to accept the report, excuse me.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, is there any discussion before we get into the vote? No? Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Murphy and a second by Commissioner Johnson. Vice Chair and Commissioners, please cast your votes. Okay, and the motion passes unanimously. Okay, agenda item F, business. F1, selection of a new chair. Does anybody?
I nominate Ms. Kosecki to be chair.
Okay.
Any seconds?
We should get her buy-in first. Do you have any feelings about it?
What?
Do you want to discuss it?
So just as in she is the vice chair, if we vote her as a chair, then the next meeting we'll have to vote somebody to appoint as a vice chair, just so everyone is aware. So do we have a second?
Or just choose a chair and don't have to address it next time? Doesn't matter.
I could be vice chair if you want to be chair.
It's up to you guys. This is a commission decision.
Yeah, I don't care.
Just know we
I'll
can't
revise
vote
my
for the vice.
motion.
We can't vote for vice chair because
Because
it's not
it's not on the
agendized,
agenda.
so we can only vote for a chair.
I got a reprieve.
Well,
Thank you
then
so
make
much.
the motion.
Do we need another motion?
Yes.
Or-
'Cause I would-
Just a second.
Wait, I thought you,
I'm sorry.
wait, I think you moved too fast.
What do we
was
need, a
the-
second, right?
We would need a second. If we don't have a second, then the motion would fail due to a lack of a second.
Yeah.
So if we don't have a second, there can be an additional, someone else can be nominated.
It's the contested election.
Or she can amend her motion.
I don't care. Yeah.
So I second
Okay,
the motion.
okay. To have Kostecki as the chair? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Murphy and a second by Commissioner Johnson. Vice Chair and Commissioners, please cast your votes. Okay, and the motion passes unanimously. And then we'll make sure to agendize the Vice Chair at the next meeting. Okay, agenda item F2, request to add item to future agenda.
Can we
Add-
get updates on the roads? Since it just started raining, I know that there's a lot of potholes, but if there's any information on the whole repaving of the roads, not just filling in the potholes, that would be great. In here in Merced. Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to put the assistant commissioner on the agenda for next time.
Okay, anything else?
Is there any way we can get an update on the lights? I know one time they talked about the street lights, that they were gonna have them updated with the LED lights. If there's any information on how many were actually changed and updated, that would be great.
Does Measure C cover streetlights? It does? Okay. Yeah, we can bring back that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else? No, we're good?
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Well, we got one more, sorry. Agenda item F3, commission comments. There's no comments, and we can go to adjournment.
No.
No? Okay. Agenda item F3, H, adjournment.
Meeting adjourned.
Do we need a motion and a second?
That too.
Motion to adjourn.
They have to print out the rules for us.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Murphy and a second by Commissioner Garcia. Vice Chair and Commissioners, please cast your votes. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.